Late 1960s, Philadelphia. A metropolis of dark streets, secret passageways, and whispers of terror. While most people saw the streets as unsafe and chaotic, some saw them as opportunities. A gang of young men saw a way to take control of the streets using structure, brutality, and terror rather than politics or words. They referred to themselves as the Black Mafia. Their kingdom would be founded on blood, discipline, and secret, and once it got underway, it would make a lasting impression on Philadelphia. Number 7. Origins of the Black Mafia 1960s, 1968. In the 1960s, South Philadelphia was split. Narrow streets were lined with row houses, children played hopscotch and double dutch, while adults worked hard in factories or on the streets to make ends meet. Amidst this pandemonium, the germs of organized crime silently sprouted. Samuel Christian, after dubbed the Black Messiah, was at the heart of the impending storm. Christian, a disciplined guy with connections to the Nation of Islam, recognized the opportunity to transform the chaotic, violent street culture into a hierarchical, structured criminal organization. He was accompanied by Donald Day, who was renowned for his cold calculations and fearlessness, and Ronald Harvey, who had a knack for street operations and logistics. Together, they enlisted young men from their communities for loyalty as well as muscle. This wasn't just a gang, it was a movement. Every handshake, every nod, every initiation ritual was designed to test obedience and instill fear. Families whispered about these men, but nobody dared cross them, and in the shadows, they watched, waiting for the right moment to strike and for the first blood to prove their power. Number 6. The first execution, Nathaniel Rock and Roll Williams, 1969. Loyalty was crucial, and the Black Mafia's first lesson was deadly. Promising young member Nathaniel Rock and Roll Williams made a critical error by stealing from the group's numbers operation without authorization. He was seduced from a bar one evening by men he trusted. He didn't fight or beg. With cold efficiency, they carried him to a quiet street, made him kneel, and put him to death. His body was left as a warning, a macabre declaration to the community that treachery would be met with rapid, public, and merciless punishment. Residents remembered hearing whispers, the sound of a car pulling away at 2 a.m., and then silence. The Black Mafia didn't just kill him, they sent a message that reverberated through every street in South Philly. This was the birth of fear, the first of many acts that would solidify their reputation as ruthless enforcers of loyalty. Number 5. Military-like organization 1968-1975. What set the Black Mafia apart wasn't violence, it was discipline. Samuel Christian imported lessons from the Nation of Islam, meetings in secret, blindfolded entrances, coded signals, and a strict hierarchy. Ranks were clear: Part 1 for decision-makers, little brothers for those proving themselves, and probationary recruits who had to endure trials that tested courage, loyalty, and discretion. Breaking the rules didn't just mean punishment, it could mean death. Initiation ceremonies were whispered about in alleys, young recruits swearing oaths, performing tasks designed to cement obedience. Every member was taught to be invisible to outsiders while omnipresent in influence. The Black Mafia wasn't a gang, they were an invisible army, and the streets of Philadelphia were their battlefield. Number 4. Expansion and Italian Mafia relations, late 1960s, early 1970s. As heroin flooded the city in the early 1970s, the Black Mafia expanded its empire. Their operations stretched from South Philly to Atlantic City, Wilmington, and parts of New York. But the Italian Mafia ruled parts of Philadelphia. A confrontation could spark a war that neither side could afford. Leaders like Angelo Bruno, the smooth-talking boss, tolerated the Black Mafia because they respected discipline and organization. Deals were made in backrooms, in dimly lit restaurants where the smell of smoke mixed with fear. Weapons were never far. The Black Mafia grew stronger while carefully avoiding a full-scale war, a delicate dance of power, greed, and survival. Every move was calculated. Every handshake could hide a bullet. Every deal could be the last. Number 3. High-profile crimes and public brutality. The Black Mafia wanted to be feared, and they made sure the world saw it. The 1971 Dubrow furniture store robbery became infamous. Employees were tied, beaten, and 2 were shot. One janitor was executed in front of the store as a warning. In Atlantic City, 1972, Tyrone Fat Ty Palmer and his bodyguards were killed in front of hundreds at Club Harlem. These weren't secret murders, these were public statements. Every crime reinforced their reach. Every act of violence was calculated to instill terror. And the people of Philadelphia began to understand the Black Mafia was untouchable, and crossing them was unthinkable. The streets whispered their name, and hearts beat faster at the thought of seeing them, or worse, being seen by them. Number 2. Ideological violence, the Hanafi Muslim Massacre, 1973. The Black Mafia's influence wasn't confined to neighborhoods. It reached ideology. The Hanafi Muslim Massacre of January 18, 1973, left 7 dead, including 5 children. It was a calculated act of terror, a message that no ideology or innocence could protect you from their wrath. Federal authorities were forced to pay attention, but the streets were already under control. This act marked a turning point. The Black Mafia was no longer just a local street empire, it was a national symbol of fear and influence. Power had a new face in America, and it wore the mask of discipline, loyalty, and blood. Number 1. Regional dominance, 1973-1976. By the mid-70s, Philadelphia and parts of New Jersey were under the Black Mafia's thumb. Rival gangs, small-time hustlers, even corrupt officials knew to tread carefully. Punishments were extreme decapitations, torture, public displays of murder. Even a rumor of betrayal could seal a fate. The empire was fueled by fear, loyalty, and an almost religious code of silence. They didn't just control the streets, they controlled minds. Communities lived under an invisible rule, obeying the laws of fear without ever seeing the enforcers. In the Black Mafia's world, the streets were alive, watching, and waiting, and nobody was safe from their shadow. The Black Mafia's reign of terror shaped Philadelphia for decades. But empires rise and fall. Betrayal, law enforcement, and internal strife would eventually weaken them, paving the way for the next generation, the Junior Black Mafia. Their story continues darker, deadlier, and more shocking than you can imagine. If you want the next chapter, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the streets of Philadelphia have more secrets than you'll ever imagine.